very good morning to both of you. It is lovely to see you both. And Douglas, it's lovely to see you looking well. How are you? Tell us, how are you feeling at the moment? How's your recovery been?
Very well, actually. I feel very well indeed this morning, as I do most mornings. It's a joy to wake up and see the sunshine, as it's been sunny for many days now, and I look forward to sitting in my daughter's conservatory and looking down at her wonderful garden.
Good. Well, it's nice to see you in such good spirits as well, because you've been through quite a time. You had this fall, then found out that you had coronavirus. What was that time like in hospital? How bad were you feeling?
I didn't feel bad at all.
Good.
When I was in a ward with only four of us, and I used to see the staff walking by, and I used to wave to them or beckon to them if I wanted something, like to have a drink of some sort, which they used to oblige me with. Otherwise, I used to hop out of the bed, which I'm not supposed to do, and go to the loo.
Oh.
Lee, it strikes me that your dad gives everybody that he gives everybody the runaround because, of course, he's got that glint in his eye, and I imagine that the care that he got, which he's talked about being so special, they were doing their best to control him so he could recover.
Yes, they calmed him down a bit, but yeah, no, he's done really well. He's done really well, and he's loved every strangely moment of it, which is really bizarre. I think he's the only one who's said how great it was in there. I think if he could, he'll go back for a holiday.
And it was lovely, Douglas, to see you being clapped out of hospital when you were discharged. They gave you this Guard of Honour. How did that feel then, that moment?
Sorry,
when they gave you the clap on the way out, as they were clapping, how did you feel?
Sorry?
When you was coming out of the hospital and they were giving you the clap?
Oh, yeah. Yes, but as I came out of the ward, and they were... Obviously, I was in a pushchair. And as we were going along the corridor, there was, I don't know, an awful lot of people there. So most of the staff, obviously, I suppose. Anyway, as I was being pushed along there on the way to the exit, they were all cheering me, and I was clapping and enjoying myself. I'm going home. Thank you very much. I had a very nice time.
Anyone would think you'd been to a holiday camp. You have said, of course, Douglas, that you think the NHS workers on the front line had a harder job than you did. Just talk us through what you saw, because clearly the care that you received was incredible, and you are a very energetic and healthy person and managed to beat the virus in a very short space of time. But how impressed were you with the doctors and the nurses and the care staff at the hospital?
How impressed was you with the nurses and the doctors and the care staff who looked after you?
Sorry?
How happy was you with the care staff that looked after you?
Oh, what, where? No,
at the hospital, yeah.
Oh, they're wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. The two things that's wonderful about the hospital was, A, the food was very good and the staff were excellent.
Well, we are glad to hear it. And I've got to ask you, because you've got all your medals on display there, Douglas, and I know that, you know, you served on the front line in Italy, you were one of the pioneers in the use of radar in Egypt, you served as a signaller, didn't you, back in the war. What does today mean to you, VE Day?
Quite a lot, really. I always look for the day when I can see all my old friends back again in my eye, not physically. But I like to think that I did my bit, and I feel a lot happier for it.
Yeah. Lee, I wonder, because clearly your granddad is a full of personality, as we've said, but how proud are you when you see him wearing those medals today and you see the way he's still attacking life and embracing every moment, and him and his fellow sort of veterans from that generation?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I'm very pleased. Obviously, so inspirational he is. He's always looking forwards. He's never looking back. And, yeah, when he's got his medals on, it brings a tear to my eye, you know. It's just so lovely. And it's just the fact that he fought in the war, but yet he doesn't dwell on it, like I say. He just keeps going forwards. It's just another day in the office for him.
And how does it feel, Douglas, for you? Because you mentioned there about it's a day where you think about your friends. And for you, is it a day of sadness where you think about those who didn't make it through? Or are you then also celebrating the fact that it marked the end of the war?
Yes. I always feel very sad at the people that we lost. Many of them good friends. But there we are. That's wartime. And you have to accept it. I've accepted it all these years. I always attended, this is the first year that I hadn't attended the actual parade somewhere, either at home or with a regiment, but there we are. That's progress, I suppose.
Well, that's the world we're living in, sadly, isn't it? We're facing this invisible enemy. Douglas, I wonder if you have one last message for the great British public this morning, just so we can try and embody your spirit of enthusiasm and positivity. What would you say to them to get us through the rest of lockdown?
I don't know really what to say other than be yourself. Be yourself and help others.
That sounds like a perfect sentiment to leave us with. It's been an absolute joy to meet you, Douglas Lee. Thank you so much for joining us today. And clearly you had a really special time in hospital, so congratulations again. I think you should write a TripAdvisor review for the hospital ward you were staying on.